According to National Electrical Code Article 408.34, conduits containing multiple conductors carrying harmonic currents must be sized to provide a minimum of 40% unoccupied space for harmonic dissipation. In the situation described, the 4-inch polyvinyl chloride conduit is fully occupied, which would result in excessive heating and potential damage to the conductors, creating a code violation. When an unbalanced load is present, the neutral conductor can carry a significant portion of the current in the phase conductors. In the scenario presented, the grounding conductor and neutral conductor are the same size. Therefore, the neutral conductor must be sized to carry the full unbalanced load current. To resolve the issue of conduit fill and neutral sizing, several modifications are recommended. Firstly, increase the conduit size to 5-inch or 6-inch polyvinyl chloride to provide the required 40% unoccupied space. Secondly, provide a separate neutral conductor size to carry the full unbalanced load current. Thirdly, check the ampacity of the conductors to ensure they are adequately rated for the actual load current and voltage. Harmonic currents are generated by nonlinear loads such as uninterruptible power supply systems. These currents can cause overheating and damage to electrical components. By increasing the conduit size and providing a separate neutral conductor size to carry the full unbalanced load current, the potential problems caused by harmonic currents can be mitigated. When dealing with electrical installations involving multiple conductors, harmonic currents, and unbalanced loads, it's crucial to adhere to the National Electrical Code requirements to ensure safety and prevent equipment damage. Firstly, let's discuss the issue of conduit fill. The National Electrical Code specifies maximum fill percentages for conduits to prevent overheating and ensure proper heat dissipation. When multiple conductors are installed in a conduit, the available space is reduced, which can lead to increased conductive temperature. In the given scenario, with two sets of 3 number 3/0 American wire gauge conductors, one number 3/0 American wire gauge grounding conductor, and one number 3/0 American wire gauge neutral conductor in a 4-inch polyvinyl chloride conduit, it's likely that the conduit is overfilled, violating the National Electrical Code's fill requirements. Overfilling a conduit can lead to several problems. Firstly, it restricts airflow around the conductors, reducing their ability to dissipate heat. Secondly, it increases the likelihood of insulation damage due to friction and abrasion. Thirdly, it makes it difficult to pull additional conductors in the future. To address the conduit fill issue, several solutions are available. Firstly, the conduit size can be increased to provide more space for the conductors. Secondly, the number of conductors can be reduced by using a different wiring method. Thirdly, compact conductors with reduced insulation thickness can be used to maximize the available space. When calculating the required conduit size, it's essential to consider the cross-sectional area of all conductors, including the grounding and neutral conductors. The National Electrical Code provides tables and formulas to determine the appropriate conduit size based on the number and size of conductors. Next, let's discuss the issue of harmonic currents. Harmonic currents are generated by nonlinear loads such as electronic devices, fluorescent lighting, and variable frequency drives. These currents are multiples of the fundamental frequency, which is typically 60 Hz in the United States. Harmonic currents can cause several problems in electrical systems. Firstly, they can overheat conductors and transformers due to increased root mean square current. Secondly, they can distort voltage waveforms, leading to equipment malfunction. Thirdly, they can interfere with sensitive electronic equipment. To mitigate the effects of harmonic currents, several measures can be taken. Firstly, harmonic filters can be installed to reduce the level of harmonic currents. Secondly, transformers can be derated to account for the increased heating caused by harmonic current. Thirdly, dedicated circuits can be used for nonlinear loads to isolate harmonic currents from other parts of the electrical system. When dealing with harmonic currents, it's important to use true root mean square meters to accurately measure the current and voltage. Conventional meters may not accurately measure harmonic currents, leading to incorrect readings and potentially dangerous situations. Now, let's discuss the issue of unbalanced loads. An unbalanced load occurs when the current in each phase of a three-phase system is not equal. Unbalanced loads can cause several problems in electrical systems. Firstly, they can cause voltage imbalances leading to equipment malfunction. Secondly, they can increase current in the neutral conductor, potentially overloading it. Thirdly, they can reduce the efficiency of transformers and motors. To address the issue of unbalanced loads, several measures can be taken. Firstly, loads can be distributed evenly across the three phases to minimize imbalances. Secondly, single-phase loads can be connected to different phases to balance the overall load. Thirdly, dedicated circuits can be used for large single-phase loads to isolate them from other parts of the electrical system. When dealing with unbalanced loads, it's important to monitor the current in each phase and the neutral conductor to ensure that they are within acceptable limits. The National Electrical Code provides guidelines for sizing the neutral conductor based on the expected unbalanced load current. In the given scenario, the neutral conductor is sized the same as the phase conductors, which may not be adequate if the unbalanced load current is significant. The neutral conductor must be sized to carry the maximum unbalanced load current, which can be calculated based on the expected load distribution. In some cases, it may be necessary to increase the size of the neutral conductor to accommodate the unbalanced load current. Additionally, the grounding conductor must be sized according to the National Electrical Code requirements to provide a safe path for fault current. The size of the grounding conductor is typically based on the size of the phase conductors. It's important to ensure that the grounding conductor is properly connected to the equipment grounding system to provide a low impedance path for fault currents. Furthermore, when installing electrical systems, it's crucial to follow all applicable codes and standards to ensure safety and prevent equipment damage. The National Electrical Code is the primary standard for electrical installations in the United States, and it provides detailed requirements for wiring methods, overcurrent protection, grounding, and other aspects of electrical systems. It's also important to use qualified electricians to perform electrical work to ensure that it is done safely and correctly. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it's essential to have the knowledge and skills to perform it safely. In addition to the National Electrical Code, there may be local codes and regulations that must be followed. These codes may vary depending on the jurisdiction, and it's important to be aware of them before starting any electrical work. In conclusion, when dealing with electrical installations involving multiple conductors, harmonic currents, and unbalanced loads, it's crucial to adhere to the National Electrical Code requirements to ensure safety and prevent equipment damage. This includes properly sizing conduits, mitigating harmonic currents, balancing loads, and using qualified electricians to perform electrical work. By following these guidelines, you can ensure that your electrical system is safe, reliable, and efficient. Additionally, the type of equipment being served by the electrical system should be considered. In the case of an uninterruptible power supply system, there may be specific requirements for wiring and grounding to ensure proper operation and prevent damage to the equipment. Uninterruptible power supply systems are often used to provide backup power to critical loads, such as computer systems and medical equipment. It's important to ensure that the uninterruptible power supply system is properly installed and maintained to provide reliable backup power when needed. Furthermore, the environment in which the electrical system is installed should be considered. If the system is installed in a damp or corrosive environment, it's important to use appropriate wiring methods and materials to prevent corrosion and ensure long-term reliability. In summary, the following points should be considered when addressing the issues raised in the initial statement. Firstly, conduit fill should be calculated according to the National Electrical Code requirements to prevent overheating and ensure proper heat dissipation. Secondly, harmonic current should be mitigated using harmonic filters, transformer derating, or dedicated circuits for nonlinear loads. Thirdly, unbalanced loads should be addressed by distributing loads evenly across the three phases, connecting single-phase loads to different phases, or using dedicated circuits for large single-phase loads. Fourthly, the neutral conductor should be sized to carry the maximum unbalanced load current as determined by the National Electrical Code. Fifthly, the grounding conductor should be sized according to the National Electrical Code requirements to provide a safe path for fault currents. Sixthly, all applicable codes and standards should be followed to ensure safety and prevent equipment damage. Seventhly, qualified electricians should be used to perform electrical work to ensure that it is done safely and correctly. Eighthly, the type of equipment being served by the electrical system should be considered, including any specific requirements for wiring and grounding. Ninthly, the environment in which the electrical system is installed should be considered, including any potential for dampness or corrosion. By considering these factors and following the recommendations outlined above, you can ensure that your electrical system is safe, reliable, and efficient. Now let's delve a little deeper into the specifics of each of these points. Firstly, conduit fill calculations can be performed using the tables and formulas provided in the National Electrical Code. These calculations take into account the size and number of conductors in the conduit, as well as the type of conduit being used. It's important to use the correct tables and formulas for the specific type of conduit and conductors being used to ensure accurate results. Secondly, harmonic mitigation can be achieved through various methods, including passive filters, active filters, and tuned filters. Passive filters use inductors and capacitors to block harmonic currents from flowing through the system. Active filters use electronic components to actively cancel out harmonic currents. Tuned filters are designed to specifically target certain harmonic frequencies. The choice of filter type depends on the specific harmonic profile of the load and the desired level of mitigation. Thirdly, load balancing can be achieved through careful planning and design of the electrical system. This involves distributing loads evenly across the three phases to minimize imbalances. Single-phase loads should be connected to different phases to balance the overall load. Large single-phase loads should be connected to dedicated circuits to isolate them from other parts of the electrical system. Fourthly, the neutral conductor size should be determined based on the expected and balanced load current. The National Electrical Code provides guidelines for calculating the unbalanced load current and sizing the neutral conductor accordingly. In some cases, it may be necessary to increase the size of the neutral conductor to accommodate the unbalanced load current. Fifthly, the grounding conductor size should be determined based on the size of the phase conductors. The National Electrical Code provides tables for sizing the grounding conductor based on the size of the phase conductors. It's important to ensure that the grounding conductor is properly connected to the equipment grounding system to provide a low impedance path for fault currents. Sixthly, all applicable codes and standards should be followed to ensure safety and prevent equipment damage. The National Electrical Code is the primary standard for electrical installations in the United States, but there may be other codes and standards that apply depending on the location and type of installation. Seventhly, qualified electricians should be used to perform electrical work to ensure that it is done safely and correctly. Qualified electricians have the knowledge and skills to perform electrical work safely and in accordance with applicable codes and standards. Eighthly, the type of equipment being served by the electrical system should be considered, including any specific requirements for wiring and grounding. Some equipment, such as uninterruptible power supply systems, may have specific requirements for wiring and grounding to ensure proper operation and prevent damage to the equipment. Ninthly, the environment in which the electrical system is installed should be considered, including any potential for dampness or corrosion. If the system is installed in a damp or corrosive environment, it's important to use appropriate wiring methods and materials to prevent corrosion and ensure long-term reliability. Now let's consider some additional factors that may be relevant to the specific scenario described. The use of number 3/0 American wire gauge conductors suggests that the load is relatively large. The fact that there are two sets of conductors in parallel indicates that the load current exceeds the ampacity of a single set of conductors. When conductors are installed in parallel, it's important to ensure that they are properly sized and installed to prevent overheating and ensure equal current sharing. The National Electrical Code provides guidelines for installing conductors in parallel, including requirements for conductor size, ampacity, and termination. The use of polyvinyl chloride conduit is a common practice for electrical installations. Polyvinyl chloride conduit is lightweight, durable, and resistant to corrosion. However, it's important to ensure that the conduit is properly supported and installed to prevent damage. The National Electrical Code provides guidelines for supporting and installing polyvinyl chloride conduit. In conclusion, addressing the issues of conduit fill, harmonic currents, unbalanced loads, neutral sizing, and grounding requires a comprehensive understanding of the National Electrical Code and best practices for electrical installations. By following the guidelines and recommendations outlined above, you can ensure that your electrical system is safe, reliable, and efficient.